Longboats carried bedraggled prisoners, former prisoners, from the pirate ships to a beach north of Yellow Delta, the town controlled by the rebel faction that had captured and imprisoned those people. In the pre-dawn light, Yanko White Fox watched from the railing of Consul Tinley's yacht, a pack of irate coyotes snarling and biting in his stomach. He'd wanted peace for the freed prisoners, a return to a life of freedom, food, and laughter. But many of their houses had been destroyed, the same as Yanko's, or their villages were controlled by one of the numerous factions fighting for the dais, so they couldn't go home. If they wanted their lives back, they would have to fight for them. Dak stepped up to the railing beside him, his face and his single eye masked by the shadows. As usual, Yanko could not tell what the big Turgonian was thinking. "I'm afraid I made the wrong decision," Yanko said quietly as the first longboats neared the beach. He'd expected the Yellow Delta watchman, the same watchman that had harried Yanko a week before, to rush out to meet the invaders, but nobody stirred in the city. He sensed a few people awake and watching from windows, but they didn't come out of their homes. They were afraid. Yanko and his small team hadn't armed the prisoners, more out of a lack of weapons to share than a desire to send these people into battle with nothing but their fists, but there were a lot of them. More than 3,000, as someone had estimated after tallying the passengers on the various ships. And no doubt more intimidating, 12 pirate ships commanded by the infamous Captain Pelu Snakeheart, Yanko's mother, loomed out beyond the breaking waves. Yellow Delta's inhabitants had no way to know that the pirates wouldn't help, that they'd merely provided the transportation.
"Was it your decision?"
Dak asked. Zirabo suggested it. He's going to go ashore with them here and try to find the faction leaders so he can take over the city rather than simply passing through. I have a hard time envisioning anything very organized. I think these people will take out their aggressions from the last couple of months of enslavement violently, Yanko grimaced. Zirabo hasn't told me who he plans to back yet, but I'm positive it won't be the Swift Wolves.
So it was his decision.
His idea, but I'm the conduit to Pelu. Still grimacing, Yanko waved toward the dark pirate ships silhouetted against the lightening sky. I'm the one who asked her to come and to deliver them to the mainland after we rescued them. Thousands of angry Moxu warriors and mages. These aren't the kind of people who will simply disappear into the wilds until the war is over. Their honor will demand they fight.
That's their choice then. They had to be set down somewhere.
Yanko wondered when Colonel Dak Starcrest, an intelligence officer in the enemy's army, had become the voice of reason for him. Not that Nuria was at war with Trigonia right now. It had been 20 years since their last great war had ended, but the two countries always seemed to be on the precipice of another conflict. Dak was a spy, and Yanko knew of two more spies, Amaranthi and Sicarius, roaming the cities of Nuria. Trigonia had a stake in who came out on top in Nuria's civil war, wanting a leader who was easier to deal with than the old great chief. But was that because the Trigonian president wanted peace, or because he wanted a weak leader that they could one day take advantage of? I wish I could have deposited them on the new continent and kept them safe, Yanko said. My family is among them, remember?
Yes. I heard your father was disgruntled when you refused to sail him over to speak with your mother.
Vocally disgruntled, yes. I did ask her if she would speak with him, but she wasn't interested. I don't think father would have handled it well either. She's not the woman he remembers. Yanko waved at the side of his neck. His mother's neck was covered in garish tattoos in that spot. And I believe she and her Trigonian lover are currently enjoying each other's company. Father needs to cast his net elsewhere. Yanko shrugged, realizing he was chatting to Dak about his personal life or his parents' personal lives, and that such things wouldn't be of interest to Trigonian spies.